Hello, my name is Dylan Schwartz, and I just wanted to share my Holy Cross leadership experiences. Being a congregation of Holy Cross School, we hear a lot about things like Holy Cross leadership and what it means to be a Holy Cross school. You've definitely been asked these questions millions of times, but how exactly can we answer these questions? Despite having the words Congregation of Holy Cross constantly drilled into our heads, you would think everyone could formulate a decent response to that question. But many students simply don't know the difference between regular leadership and Holy Cross leadership. And that's exactly why I'm up here today. While I'm not a brother of the congregation like Brother George, or in charge of mission effectiveness like Mr. Abbott, I've had my fair share of experiences with the congregation of Holy Cross that have given me a deep understanding of Holy Cross ideals and leadership. And I'd like to share my understanding with all of you to help you develop your own. So where do I start? Although a large amount of my experiences with Holy Cross leadership were from more recent years, I'd say my experiences in Holy Cross leadership actually began my freshman year. Coming from public education my entire life, I had never experienced religion or campus ministry in school. And I certainly wasn't getting it in church because, believe it or not, you actually have to attend church to experience it. And at the time, attendance wasn't my forte. So understandably, I was anxious to see what the religious aspect of ND would be like. Well, I was mainly just curious. A small part of me was scared. What if I didn't know the right prayers? Do I need to brush up on my Bible stories? What did that Jesus guy do again? It was safe to say I was intimidated, but as soon as I had my first religion class, all that got thrown out the window. In the first week, I got to meet the peer counselors, who we met with in small groups and discussed not only religious matters, but school life, adapting to high school, finding good friends, and sharing personal experiences. At first, I was understandably confused. Why am I talking about what I did on a family vacation? Shouldn't I be talking about Adam and Eve or something? At the time, I thought that peer counseling had nothing to do with religion. We talked about God occasionally, but more than anything, we just talked about our experiences at school and our personal lives. I wish I could say this was when I began to understand what the Congregation of Holy Cross was all about. But it wasn't until the end of my junior year that I had the experience of a lifetime and learned what the Congregation of Holy Cross really is. In March 2019, I attended Notre Dame's first Spes Unica retreat. For those of you who haven't attended or heard about it before, Spes Unica is the official Congregation of Holy Cross retreat. While Notre Dame has run various retreats in the past, Spes Unica is a completely different experience. And it's honestly one of the best experiences of my life. And I know for a fact that anyone in this room who has attended can say the same. Spes Unica is a religious retreat. Its purpose extends far beyond religion. On Spes Unica, about 20 students, along with some of the best faculty, get together at the Incarnation Center and get the opportunity to open up and become vulnerable for a weekend. While the retreat is filled with a variety of fun games, great activities and experiences, and some great food, thank you, Doc, the highlight of the retreat is the group discussions. There are about eight talks through the retreat, accompanied by a variety of activities related to the topic of focus. While many people may think these are long and boring, some of these activities are very impactful and teach us that even as men, it's okay to open up and reveal your true self. While I can't get into detail, I can say that many people have revealed pieces of themselves that they would never display otherwise. And for some, sharing was even life-altering. The experiences were something I would be able to cherish forever. However, the real beauty in this was the people who put it together. The retreat was primarily run by faculty, including Mr. Heslaris, who doesn't come to ND much anymore, but cares deeply about all of us. The faculty members took time out of their week and actual class schedules to be with us and help give students an amazing experience. And many of the upperclassmen, despite the hectic college process, took time to share their experience with all of us and listen to what we had to say. In my eyes, this was Holy Cross leadership. It isn't just about religious education, it's about helping people feel comfortable with every way of their life, and being there for them in any way possible, even if that means sacrificing a bit of your own time. This experience actually led both myself and some of my close friends to come back and lead this same retreat, twice. It's also why I'm here today. In the beginning of my summer after my junior year, I attended the Holy Cross Conference for Student Leaders, or as I like to call it, Ocroconfo Stuli. At this conference was a handful of students from almost every congregation of Holy Cross High School in the U.S. And while the organized talks and lessons were great, the true highlights of this conference were the unscheduled experiences. Interacting with students from other schools was amazing. Not only did I make great friends, fun fact, I almost went to prom in Ohio, but I learned the mission of Holy Cross and Holy Cross leadership is unanimous among all Holy Cross schools. Because of this, I was able to learn a lot from the other attendees, despite knowing very little about them in the beginning. This conference taught me a large part of the skills and talking points that I use when serving as a leader, both with and separate from the Holy Cross. And now that brings me to the reason you're all here. Peer counseling. Peer counseling was the test of all my skills. It was where I applied the concept of Holy Cross leadership the most. The key thing about being a Holy Cross leader is that it isn't just about religion. Well, it is important for us to talk about God. Remember that your service is more than just talking about it. It's your job to keep the school running and to be there not only for the freshmen, but for the rest of the school, including the teachers. As a Holy Cross leader, you need to be there for your school community whenever possible. It is your duty to share the mission of the Holy Cross and show underclassmen what makes the Notre Dame experience so great. While it may seem fun to pick on freshmen, remember that you've been in their position before. Remember to pick them up, help guide them, and be there for them as a leader and a friend. As I like to say, the greatest leader is a servant and never a tyrant. Today and tomorrow, you're going to learn exactly what Holy Cross leadership is to you. And most importantly, you'll become the best servant to this community you can possibly be. And lastly, remember to embrace being a Holy Cross leader. Please don't think of this as a way to get out of a religion class or a resume booster. Because one, everyone notices when you aren't actively fulfilling your duties. And two, being a Holy Cross leader can be one of the most fulfilling experiences you've ever had. And on top of that, you can make this a better place for all. That is what Holy Cross leadership is. That's all. Thank you for listening.